FaderCast.
Tuesday, 1:30 in the afternoon, or 13:30, as we say, after my little rant last week. I am mixing the song that has the working title Sven Enselman's Disco, and for I don't know how long, I think I wrote it in January 2020, so for a year and a half, it's been as a demo, and it had a very certain, like a, I don't know, The Cure meets Faderhead type vibe.
4 a.m. on another night.
But now it sounds different. And this is usually what happens, because now there's an additional 80s synth in the chorus, and I asked Danny Deltamo to sing some ad-libs on it, and now it all of a sudden has a completely different vibe to me. And Danny said he had to get his bell-bottom pants out for and the silver disco jacket from the 80s, because without that he wouldn't have been able to sing the background vocals. And at first I didn't know what he meant, and now that I turned the song back on, I know what he means, and I'm not sure I like it, actually. I mean, I do like it as a song. I'm not sure I like it for the album, but the problem is I like nothing anymore. So I'll probably just, finish it and leave it on the album and then say, fuck it. Man, I mean, this is. I'm actually really glad I'm recording these things for the podcast, because these reminders to myself that it was good for a year and a half, and it will still be good once the album is done. But just right now, I'm not thinking that it's good. Those reminders are kind of important, and I don't know. It's interesting how different the song sounds right now. I think I'm going to go listen back to the demo and see if the demo has something that's different. And this is a very normal thing. Sometimes you overproduce, and sometimes you take out the interesting thing that's in the demo and you replace it with technically better stuff, but you take out let's say the soul and the interesting part of the vibe of the demo. And I'm going to go listen back to the demo and see if there's a huge difference or if I'm just screwed up in the head.
FaderCast.
Wednesday, what is it, 10:42 in the morning. Yesterday I talked about the differences between how the demo of one song feels compared to the final mix. Today I checked the mix that I did, and it sounds really good. Yesterday I wasn't happy at all with the song, and today I'm like, yeah, that's amazing. So I don't know. I wrote about that in last week's newsletter about the dopamine context. Maybe that was one of the things. And also, right now, I was texting with Spencer about all sorts of things. And I wasn't really paying that much attention to the track. So maybe that helped also, because this hyper focus. I can detect changes in level that are like 0.3 dB. I hear them clearly. The other day I was sitting in the kitchen, I was having dinner, and the church started to do church bell ringing stuff, and I could hear which I've never heard before, and I've lived here for over 10 years across from this church. I could hear the attack of the whatever you call the beater of the bell hitting the bell, and I could hear the overtones change depending on how my head moved in my room, like in the kitchen. So this hyper focus that you get when you mix for a few weeks or even just for a day or two, that ruins everything. It completely ruins everything. Today I wasn't listening with that much focus. I was just, listening, and it sounded really good. So context is everything. Saturday morning, 9:30. I am just setting up for mastering the album. And if you listen to a previous episode, mastering is the process of making the songs sound good together, like that not one song is too loud and the other's not loud enough, and one song has too much bass and the other one has too much high end, and so making them sound in a way that they're smooth when you listen to them one after the other, but also that they sound good on all, speaker systems. And usually what happens is that the person who mixes the songs sends them to a specialized mastering engineer, which has its advantages and its disadvantages. For me, it now has more disadvantages than advantages. I tried that on the Cyberpunk EP, and I found later that I preferred my own masters. And so I'm mastering myself. I think the third album now or something, all the singles, everything. What's my point here? My point is that one of the advantages when you master yourself, and you should only do this when you kind of have enough expertise to do this. I've only started a few years ago, 2-3 years ago with this, after fucking 1,000 years of mixing. What's my point here? Oh yes, the one of the advantages of this is that I can listen to the tracks and I can say, oh, all these tracks sound good, but this song and this song, the vocals are too loud, or the kick drum on that song is not loud enough, or something like that. And then I can go back into my mix and fix it there, and then import the new mix into the mastering session, and I don't have to fuck around with the song too much. If I send this off, like the audio files, the stereo audio files, the stuff that you listen to, if I send this off to someone else, he or she will have to tell me, oh, you have to remix this, and then it'll take 2-3 days, or they'll have to try and fix it and change the balances that I liked in my mix. And that was one of the things why I didn't like the master that someone else did for the Cyberpunk EP, because my vocals were totally out of sync level-wise. So what I'm doing here is basically I have all the songs in one project, and I also have reference files. In my case, these are Gesaffelstein Pursuit, Nine Inch Nails Closer, Neelix, One Nature. What else is there? There's a Huratron song. And then what I do is I pick one of the tracks, the first track of my own, and then I listen to it, and then I compare it to the reference tracks, and then I decide, do I want this to have more bass or not? Like, I just did that with the first one, and there wasn't really that much to do. The only thing that I wanted to do was to lift the drums a little bit. So I went and remixed it. And then I'll go and listen to the next song in comparison to the first song and in comparison to my reference tracks. And then I see, oh, this needs, I don't know, a little less 50 hertz, or it needs a little more this and that. And I go through all the 17 songs, and as soon as they sound coherent, then I'm done. It's easy as that and difficult as that.
FaderCast.
Monday evening, 6:30. What a weekend. On Friday, I put out like a casting call, saying, oh, we want to shoot this video for the new single, All Black Everything, and we're looking for people for a club scene, whatever, explaining when, where, why, what. And literally 5 minutes after I posted the video, everything inside of me was like, nope, I'm not going to do any of this. And it was funny because it's one of these things where you have an idea and you like your idea. And I mean, I literally spent 3-4 hours making that video, speaking into the camera, editing it, whatever. So once I posted this, I instantly knew I don't want to do this. And this is because, you might think, you should have thought of this first. But things only become real when you, as they say in the Bible, speak them into existence. If I just say, I would like to do this, and maybe I want to do this, nothing means anything. As soon as I start saying, this is the date, these are the concepts, and now I announce it to the world, then it becomes real, and I have to, start thinking about the actual consequences. Or like, I actually, you start feeling the consequences, not thinking, because I've thought about it, obviously. And for some reason, I was certain that this is a terrible idea and that I don't want to do it. And so I just decided, fuck it. And I'm going to send emails out maybe tomorrow to all the people who wrote in. But yeah, so I obviously had to come up with new ideas for 2 videos. And that went really well. Mostly thanks to Garrett Shanley, who's who's a script writer. He wrote Vivarium and other things, who I've known for a few months now on Twitter. And I just emailed him and said, do you have any advice for me how to start generating ideas? And we wrote a little bit, and now I have 2 things that I want to do. And so tonight I'm going to talk to Matteo from Hell Boulevard and VD Pictures. Just shoot the shit, have some brainstorming sessions with him about my ideas. Maybe he has some good thoughts, because he's great at making videos. And then talk to other people about how to do things. I need to find a visual effects, person, because I mean, all the stuff I want to do, I technically kind of have an idea of how to do them, but fuck that. I mean, whenever you try to do things that seem doable and easy, they never end up good. They always end up kind of looking like shit. And so I'm trying to, find someone who's actually good at this and who can do it for a decent amount of money and not, more money than my video budget. We'll see. It's probably findable somewhere. And yeah, so everything's completely different. And but I'm more excited about the new video ideas than the old video ideas, because for some reason the new ones, they kind of mean something, while the old ones, I don't know. I don't think the reason why I stopped wanting to do it was that, first of all, I didn't want to fuck around with 50 people on set. That was just a nightmare scenario. Second, the more I thought about it, in 2008, having like a really cool club video in the goth scene, that was interesting. Now it's 13 years later, and I've had 2 of those interesting, like good-looking videos with some little bit of interesting people in it. And why do that again 13 years later in 2021? And especially because my audience now is like in their late 30s or something like that. So they don't need to see another club video, even if it was well done. So I'd rather shoot something with like 6 to 10 people on set and not 50 to 100. The cost could be much lower, maybe now. Maybe it'll be higher. We'll see. And yeah, I just like the new ideas more. I just like the way it allows me to stretch out all the shooting over 4 days instead of 2.5. Yeah, that's the thinking behind that. I also got the cover artwork finished from Daniel, and it looks great. I'll post that tonight. When you hear this, you have seen it probably, and I'm very happy with it. Yeah, I think that's all the news. Oh no, I just did the first pass of mastering today. I could have done more of these, podcast entries, but for some reason I was focused on stuff and I didn't want to interrupt what I was doing over the last few days to just chat. So this is all in one big update. And yeah, I did all the first pass of mastering. For me, that's usually, I don't know, I do 3 or 4 passes because everything changes depending on how my ears sound. Today, I listened to what I mastered the other day, and it sounded completely different because I started listening at 4 in the afternoon or like 3 or whenever. And I probably will hire Krishan to just listen again with the second set of ears. Not do much, but, maybe do little things or give me pointers on stuff. We'll see about that. Very happy with how it sounds in general. The problem for me right now is that one of the songs that I thought would be one of the bonus tracks, I like it so much that I want to definitely put it on the album. So I'm trying to figure out which one of the others I'm going to put as a bonus track, because I want to put 3 bonus tracks. And then simply because the album already has, I think, 14 songs, and you don't need, I mean, in the end, it probably won't matter to people, but we'll see. I'd rather have one more bonus track for all the folks on Bandcamp and on Kickstarter. But now I have to figure out which is which and which song I like the most and which I want to put somewhere else. I don't know. The typical last minute shit that doesn't matter at all. We shall see. What you just heard was the construction crew next door, drilling and totally renovating the whole place there. And yeah, it's not very easy to work on music when they're here from like maybe 7:45, 8 o'clock in the morning to usually between 3:30 and 4. Obviously it could work later, but man, that's loud. I should probably, use that for some track.
FaderCast.
Beat of the week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of FaderCast. If you have any questions or suggestions, just email me at contact@faderhead.com. You can obviously also find me on all the socials, on Instagram @FaderheadOfficial, and everywhere else under Faderhead. Please be a friend and tell a friend about this podcast. And until next time.
FaderCast.